So yeah, that's the story. And to make good amount of money, I need to start a business, become an entrepreneur, and develop some kind of product so that I can have that leverage. However, there's one problem. I don't exactly know how to do it. Even if I don't have that belief system that's inbuilt in me that can help me reach there. Yes, Gaurav, you can do it. You can become a successful entrepreneur. If only there was somebody who was in a similar scenario and
Finally, the youngest billionaire in Asia has shared with us his secrets. How did he get the emails of every investor in the world? Well, he didn't. He guessed them.
so yeah, with the help of NASA Academy, I was able to find out this course where Ritesh himself is giving on video lessons on how to become an entrepreneur at different steps and stages. So that's about it. Ritesh is the founder of Oyo. It's the world's second biggest hotel chain worth billions of dollars, and he did all that from a very young age. He came from a small place from India. He started from scratch. He figured out an industry where he was passionate about. He solved the problems and he went global with his business, and now his entire business is thriving. Number one, let's start from scratch. How do I know if I'm a founder? If I can be an entrepreneur? Let's start with the definition of entrepreneur. Now, entrepreneur is somebody who wants to solve a certain problem and can generate a wealth around it. Now, you can look at the problem that you have in your life or in the community that you want to serve. Are you passionate about solving their problem or your own problem? If you are determined and you want to solve that particular problem, you are a founder. Congratulations. And if you manage to generate wealth around it, then you are an entrepreneur. So the thing that matters the most is conviction and belief in solving the problem. So when do I become an entrepreneur? Well, according to Ritesh, the best time to become an entrepreneur was yesterday. But since yesterday is gone, now is the right time. But Gaurav, how do I find the idea? That's a good question. Well, for that, you need to figure out a community or industry that you want to solve. You dig deep into it, you try to understand the problems, the things that you can improve, and you talk to people, you communicate, you try to understand all the elements, and that's how you get your idea. Once you figure out the idea, you start working on it. Don't wait for another idea. If your idea doesn't work, you go back to the previous step, you talk again, you try to improvise, and then you execute that. Now, if the first version of your idea sounds too perfect, maybe you waited too long. Even if you feel like your idea is too small, go with it. Also, ideas, they evolve as you grow and start executing. Remember one thing, idea is dime a dozen. Execution is what that matters. And if you are learning something from this video, just drop a like. And if you're not, just double click that dislike button. You can even press that red subscribe button. Don't get caught up in wishful thinking. You might think market needs one thing, but the reality might be completely different. You go take an actual feedback, talk to people. If you have an idea regarding microphone, you talk to audio engineers. If you have it regarding cameras, you talk to photographers, you talk to all the people in that space that can give you critical feedback and help you work on your idea, improve it. It's gonna happen. Somebody will come and say to you, that's a terrible idea. Don't take it personally. Take that as a form of free feedback. Feedbacks are for free, okay? Just take it. And then ask them a question. Why do you think it's a terrible idea? And afterwards, you just need to figure out a solution to the thing that he finds terrible. That's it. You can ignore it if you think that's not relevant. It's up to you, but don't take it personally. Third step, building a product. While developing a product, you need to keep the customer's experience at the forefront. You need to integrate data science, consumer technology, all those other flashy stuffs, and figure out what your customer needs, how they're gonna look, how they're gonna feel, what's the price point. Look at your competition. What are things that they are getting right? Can you incorporate their expensive stuff in your more affordable range? That is, if you're going for that. You need money to run your business, but before seeking for funds, you need to understand, do you really need money? Can you bootstrap your business? Because once you take money from VCs or angel investor, I will explain what they are in a while. But once you take money from others, you have a certain amount of accountability. Once you have a clear answer to that question and you know that you need money, so the few places where you can go for to get the fundings are one, VC. Second is angel investors. You can go for government funds. You can go for university funds. Then we have accelerator and incubator program, and You can also register on angel list. Before taking the money, you need to understand a few of the things. 1. You need to do enough reference call and understand about the investor who is investing in you. You need to understand their past record, how they have performed, where else they have invested, everything else. Second point, there's high probability that you're gonna be in relationship with this investor for a long period of time. So, do you have good chemistry? Do you guys have common goals? One thing that you need to understand is that investors invest in you. They invest in your bold vision, they invest in your business, and they understand the risk they are taking. But you need to make sure that you are being transparent, you're being very clear about everything that is happening in the company at every stage, at every tough call that you are making. Even if things are not going well, you need to be absolutely transparent with them. You need to tell them the things. So I've built a product, I've secured investment, now I want to scale. But the first question that you really need to ask is, do you really want to scale? Do you want to have a restaurant where you want to limit yourself to a city and you want to have a very good quality control and all those stuffs? Then you don't need to scale. However, if you want to globalize your product and go in several markets, these are a few steps that you can follow. Number 1, does your product work? How is the engagement and customer retention? How hard it is to make sales? The resources that you need to scale. How is your company's growth? Is your company growing organically, or do you have to spend tons of money on advertisement? Are people willing to pay for it? And finally, do you have a good product market fit for the existing location and for the new location that you're going to be in? To scale up, you can leverage the power of technology, social media, and internet. These resources can really level up the playground. When you're trying to expand, do it with low budget, take a low amount of risk, and try experimenting around the market. Improvise, take help of all those data science and technology that we discussed before, and try to find a good product market fit for that market and then expand. Now let's talk about hiring, shall we? Now, the first hiring is obviously going to be very difficult.
Rick Sorkin.
Harvey Specter, nice to meet you. Should have a seat here.
However, if you keep few things in mind, you might get away with it. 1 is that the person you are hiring, they have a proper attitude and hunger to make a difference.
You give me this, and I will work as hard as it takes to school those Harvard douches and become the best lawyer you have ever seen.
What's their goal? What they want to achieve from their job? These are a few things that you can keep in mind. Number 2, do they have a past record of excellence? Did they perform very well in school? Did they perform very well while investing or in their college? Or maybe in sports? And 3, the most important, can you trust them? Everybody know PayPal's management is amazing. Now Ritesh, while talking to Peter Thiel, came up with a way to hire. What they would do is that they will ask their existing employees list of 10 of the smartest people they have ever met, and then they will try to recruit them. And they repeated this process over and over again. Now when some hiring goes wrong, there are few repetitive patterns that is visible in almost all of those cases. 1, you didn't do enough reference calls. 2, maybe you weren't transparent enough with the nature of the job. 3, alignments of goal. Maybe he wanted something else in life and you wanted something else from him, or the company wanted something else from him. Now, if somebody's leaving your company or you have to fire them, there are a few things that you can keep in mind. 1, don't take things personally. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. They want to do something else in their life. They want to achieve something else. And if you feel like there is something that you can work or improve on, then you should definitely go and take feedback. 2, be empathetic. Try to understand their scenarios. And when you have to let them go or they are leaving the company, you make sure you don't do anything that can really harm their future. Now let's talk about crisis. In times of crisis, your customers, your partners will give you a few signals. You can pick up on those signals and you can try to improve on the scenario. Number 2, improvise, adapt, and become highly efficient. That's really important. You don't want to be wasting your important resources while you are in crisis, right? And while you're doing that, focus on what you need. Try to protect your backbone and focus on survival. Focus on your core market and invest in the things that needs most of your attention. Try to help people that you have to let go. Provide some stipend. Maybe use your HR to help them find a new job. Be empathetic. Try to understand their scenario and help them throughout the process. And now we come to the last part of this session, and that is the future. Now this is really exciting because When we look at the history and we look at the present, we understand that technology has changed almost everything. It has leveled the playground. Almost everybody has access to internet, smartphone devices, and they don't need to break their bank to get access to them. They can operate. Today, people spend a lot of their time online. There is huge growth potential in almost all of the industries, and today's small companies will be tomorrow's big businesses, and the only differentiating factors will be use of AI, machine learning, data science, consumer tech, and there's $1 billion opportunities in almost all of these sectors.